Imagine a flag. It's a simple flag divided horizontally into two equal halves. The top is a sky blue, the color of a summer day, vast and hopeful. The bottom is a field of gold, the color of wheat swaying in the breeze, a symbol of life and abundance. This is the flag of Ukraine, a nation that embodies the spirit of its banner, a land striving for peace and prosperity. But look closer. This flag, once flying high above bustling cities and quaint villages, is now often seen tattered and torn, a testament to the brutal reality of war. The azure sky is obscured by smoke from explosions, the golden fields scarred by trenches and littered with the debris of conflict. The story of Ukraine is a complex tapestry woven from centuries of struggle, resilience, and an enduring love for freedom. It's a story etched onto ancient maps, whispered in folk songs, and preserved in the weathered stones of its historical landmarks. It's a story that demands to be heard, a story that resonates far beyond the borders of this embattled nation. Ukraine's history is a turbulent journey marked by periods of independence and foreign rule. For centuries, this land was a crossroads of empires, its fate intertwined with powerful neighbors. From the Cossack Hetmanate to the divisions imposed by the Russian and Austro-Hungarian empires, Ukraine's path to self-determination was fraught with obstacles. The flame of independence flickered brightly in the aftermath of the Russian Revolution, only to be extinguished by the rise of the Soviet Union. For decades, Ukraine endured the hardships of Soviet rule, its identity suppressed, its spirit tested, but the desire for freedom, like a seed buried deep within the earth, could not be extinguished. In 1991, as the Soviet Union crumbled, Ukraine seized its moment. Over 90% of its people voted for independence in a referendum, a resounding declaration of their right to self-determination. Yet, even in independence, the shadow of the past loomed large. The complex relationship with Russia, rooted in shared history, culture, and language, remained a source of tension. The stage was set for future conflicts, the echoes of history reverberating into the present. The year 2014 marked a turning point in Ukraine's story, a year when the simmering tensions with Russia erupted into open conflict. Russia, driven by a desire to reassert its influence over its neighbor, annexed the Crimean Peninsula, a Ukrainian territory with a majority Russian population. The international community watched with alarm as Russian troops, often operating without insignia, took control of key infrastructure and military bases. The annexation was swift, strategic, and met with widespread condemnation. The annexation of Crimea was not merely a territorial dispute, it was a violation of international law, a challenge to the post-Cold War order, and a stark reminder of Russia's willingness to use force to achieve its geopolitical goals. The world responded with sanctions against Russia, but the annexation remained a festering wound, a harbinger of the larger conflict that was to come. In the east of Ukraine, a separatist movement fueled by Russian support ignited a war in the Donbas region, plunging the country deeper into crisis. The world watched in horror as, in February 2022, the long-simmering conflict in Ukraine escalated into a full-scale war. Russian forces launched a multi-pronged invasion, targeting major cities including the capital Kiev with airstrikes and ground offensives. The images of destruction, the stories of families torn apart, and the sheer scale of human suffering sent shockwaves across the globe. Millions of Ukrainians were forced to flee their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries like Poland, Romania, and Moldova. The refugee crisis became Europe's largest since World War II, a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. The war in Ukraine is not just a regional conflict, it has had profound global consequences. Ukraine, known as the breadbasket of Europe, is a major exporter of wheat and sunflower oil. The war disrupted global supply chains, leading to soaring food prices and raising fears of famine in vulnerable parts of the world. The conflict has also exacerbated existing geopolitical tensions, pushing the world closer to a new Cold War. The West responded with unprecedented sanctions against Russia, targeting its financial institutions, energy sector, and oligarchs. The economic fallout of the war has been felt globally, highlighting the interconnectedness of the world economy. As the world watches, the relationship between Ukraine and the West continues to evolve. From diplomatic gestures to economic collaborations, a new chapter unfolds. The bridge across the Atlantic grows stronger, but challenges remain. How will these alliances shape the future? In the midst of turmoil, whispers of a truce begin to surface. Leaders from all sides cautiously explore the possibilities. Could peace be within reach? The stakes are high, and the world holds its breath, waiting for the next move. Meanwhile, in the Oval Office, tensions rise. Differing opinions and strategic disagreements create a storm of discord. The decisions made here will have far-reaching consequences. How will the leadership navigate this complex web of international relations? Europe stands on edge, watching the unfolding drama. The ripple effects of decisions made far away are felt across the continent. From economic impacts to security concerns, the stakes are incredibly high. The world waits, with bated breath, for what comes next.